Hey folks, how we doing today? Let's see if I can bring up the chat here. It's not too much difficulty. And then we'll get playing here. I enjoy this soundtrack. It's weird little music here. It's actually a lot of variety on this Final Fantasy VII soundtrack, which I'm pretty pleased with. What's up, Jared? So, there's been a busy couple days. Couldn't stream last night because... excuse me. Because my daughter decided to be up until 12:30. So, that's what I did, was hang out with the baby. Which you gotta do sometimes when you are a parent. I'm not sure which way I'm supposed to be going here. I think I came this way. I think I'm going that way. Let's see if I can check in this little cranny. There might be like a... might be something in here. And I can't really vault over this. Alright. It's just there to fool me? Maybe that little wall there, eventually you can break it down in a different part of the game. Whatever, let's move on. So yeah, she decided she was going to stay up till all hours of the night last night. And then, you know, she didn't decide to didn't decide to sleep in either. So, that was fun. My son's really good, though. He just, like, goofed off while I slept for, like, a few extra minutes with the baby. So I appreciated that. Let me get to play this game a little bit. I played it a little bit, actually, last night, just because, like, my daughter was just wanting to sit around and play toys, so I turned this on and played this. Then she got real annoyed by the fact that I wasn't paying attention to her. Or was, like, paying attention to something else. Even though she really wasn't... She didn't care until she saw that I was busy with something. She said, "What are you doing?" You can't be playing a game. Yeah, this weird techno dance music during this part. I think I like it, though.
Buzz off.
Oh, it's spinning.
Deal with that.
Here goes. You've got this.
Let's do this. Bam!
Stay
Keep
back.
it together.
I'll show you what I can do. That's it.
Oh, I did Blizzard here.
Don't catch a cold.
I don't know if they're weak to that.
Get him. What the?
Aerith is gonna die here.
Taking over.
This might be it.
Oh yeah, Aerith's dead. I wonder if I can, Oh, these things actually do a lot of damage. I'm gonna have to restart this fight. Oops, there we go. Oh, they are weak to frost. Okay.
Wow.
I kind of like this little, like, singing techno sound. Listening to Star Trek 3 original soundtrack. That's a cool one, yeah. What do you think of Final Fantasy 16? Well, on the last stream, I outlined what I wished they would do, and then they, like, basically did that. They basically are doing the things that I said. I'm like, I wish they'd go back to a more medieval aesthetic, kind of go back to more of what the roots of the franchise are about, more medieval stuff, more swords and magic. They're basically doing that. And of course, we do have a combat system that, at least on the surface, looks a little bit like this one, a little bit more action-oriented, which to me is not a problem. I know people are wanting...
It's on you.
I know people are wanting more turn-based combat, and I understand that, but that's also why we have Dragon Quest, in my opinion.
Let's do this.
That wasn't nice.
Cure her. There you go. Well, you know, getting rid of one of these things is really easy. I don't know why 2 is so much harder, but I guess it is.
Fry. Keep it together.
Here goes.
In Blizzard.
Gotta be careful.
That's it.
Gotta cure myself.
You're mine.
Come on, you can do it.
Well, Aerith, you're just standing there getting hit in the face. Listen, babe, this is not how you fight a battle here. You can't just get hit in the face. So yeah, I'm actually pretty hyped for Final Fantasy 16. I'm really liking the change in direction back away from the sci-fi stuff towards more classic fantasy, more high fantasy. So I'll be very interested to see it. Yeah, it's like they traveled into my mind, but they've done the sci-fi stuff so much since Final Fantasy VI. They've brought in more and more elements towards that direction, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do like Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8. I mean, they're all good. I really liked 9. I think probably because 9 was like different from those, it was more in the kind of high fantasy vein, and I love the aesthetic of Final Fantasy 9. So anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be pretty cool. Definitely looks like at least in terms of theme and aesthetics, more return to what's classic. I think someone on Twitter was like, it looks like a copy of The Witcher 3, and it makes me have flashbacks of when people were playing Warhammer Online. I don't know if you guys played that back during one of the MMO booms of around 2010-ish, maybe a little earlier, 2009. I'm trying to remember when that one actually came out. But people were calling it a WoW clone, which, if you know anything about MMOs, is really a silly thing. Am I supposed to go this way? I don't know. It looks like I can go up top or go this way. I'm going to see what's up top real quick. Yeah, because WoW was an EverQuest clone. WoW basically did everything the same as EverQuest, other than it had quest tracking, which was really cool. You had actual quests that you could do. Wait, can I lower this? Or maybe I have to... Okay, let's use this. Out of the way, sweetheart. So I just was remembering that, or when people are like, oh,
Hey, I bet you can grab that container with the arm.
Warhammer is just like, it looks just like World of Warcraft. It's like World of Warcraft, or Warcraft in general, is a ripoff of Warhammer Fantasy. It's just a straight up ripoff of the Warhammer Fantasy universe. So it was just kind of funny to see that. Someone's like, oh, it looks like The Witcher 3. I'm like, well, you are aware that these fantasy aesthetics have existed for a long time. In terms of aesthetics, it looked more like Dragon Age Origins, right? Just a medieval fantasy aesthetic. These things are old. Okay. Let's rotate this arm. Alright. Now, there's a slight thing with these little mini-games in here. Which is like, why do I have to do this whole sequence where I'm having to actually control an arm? Like, this isn't core gameplay.
Is a crane operator or something?
Like, this isn't hard. There was the one where you have to time, like, a button press, and I was failing at it on stream, like, over and over again. Awkward. This is, okay, little bit of story interjection here. When girls do things that are awkward, it makes them endearing to male viewers, male readers, whatever. That's just a tip. Obviously, like in real life, women don't want to be awkward all the time. They want to be sexy, right? Okay, Kitty, you can get down. But when it comes to fiction, especially, women doing things which are somewhat awkward is actually something that men end up finding endearing, rather than, off-putting in any way. Okay. Now, can I get up there and get that materia is the question. I'm hoping I can. So, like, one of the reasons I think Aerith is rather likable... Now, what do I have to do? Oh, no. What do I have to do here? Wait, can't she... Do I have to give her a ride, too? This is a cool crane. It's like a giant hand. Okay, yeah, I have to give her a ride as well. So yeah, this just kind of interrupts the flow of the game. Maybe it's not bad. Sometimes it's a little break from like the gameplay. You know, I could just kind of listen to this cool techno music. Is she gonna go get the materia for me? That'd be cool.
Hold on a second.
Yes, she is. Very nice. But yeah, if you make a woman do like kind of awkward things, or like maybe say the wrong thing at the wrong time, or just, you know, just act a little awkward or nervous, it makes her seem more demure and more feminine, and so that men tend to like that. Whereas if you do the same thing with a male, it can make you sympathize with him. It will make the male viewer sympathize with him, but it will not necessarily make a female viewer like that. There's a little more subtlety that has to go into that. You know?
Okay, right there. Hold on while I drop the ladder.
Alright. Now, okay. I wasn't paying attention to what materia I just got, so... I'll have to, like, watch the replay. You will love Aeris. There's a treasure chest. Gotta find all the loot. Now, this was the other way in? Warning. It's telling me not to go that way. Okay. Alright. Oh, wait, there was a chest over here. No, that's not a chest, it's a light. Oh. Way to fake me out. And here it is. Mega potion. That's good. That will come in useful.
Cloud, over here.
Give me the loot. Like, this was one thing that I liked about Final Fantasy 13 is that they had a lot of, like, walking through these environments with, like, the banter. I think it actually works pretty well. Where does this go? Is this the underground one? Oh, is that where she went? Hold on. Did I miss something? No, she's right there. Okay. So I guess I could have gone underground. Or there's like a vending machine up here. I could buy like a potion. And I do like this music. It's not the normal thing that I listen to, by the way. Let's see what they got. Buy the music, I guess it's a collectible. Got all that stuff. Got all that. Got all of that. Alright. We'll rest here. Oops. She shouldn't get hit in the face, yeah. Final Fantasy IX failed as a game. It had a lot of artistic value, but it was inherently nihilistic. No matter what you do, you and everyone will die. I don't really think that. Well, I don't know. People having agency in a video game, that's probably the hallmark of an RPG. But a JRPG, the agency is really over, like, you know, how you do a character and your, maybe your build and things like that. The thing I fear is no date on Final Fantasy 16. So years from now, knowing Square Enix, possibly. Yeah. I'm gonna do this 2 more times after this, yeah. Up, 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 up. Yeah, the game's a tunnel. Yeah, banter with unlikable, unsympathetic characters who don't really have anything to say, yeah. Well, you know, what it reminded me of was like the banter in Dragon Age Origins. It just gave you a lot of opportunity to hear like little bits of banter. It was a good touch. I think Final Fantasy 13 is a very underrated game, actually. Especially in terms of gameplay. Maybe not in terms of story, because it didn't execute a lot of the elements well. Basically, they decided to do this thing where they were going to be flashing back to the previous 13 days, but it takes so long between those cutscenes and there's so little revealed that you just are confused more than anything.
Got it.
The enemies pop, you have bosses that pop out, you're like, who is this guy? I don't remember him. You know, it's it really comes down to execution more than anything. Like, they clearly were like trying to do it as they went, and that's probably not the best plan. It's not a great plan when you're writing a book. It's probably not a great plan when you're doing a video game. But I think that they were just kind of trying to piece set pieces together in Final Fantasy 13. Like, here's this beautiful, cool set piece, and it's like, yeah, but what does this have to do with the story? It's like, I don't know. They're running away through this tunnel. Okay, I guess it looks cool.
Anybody around? Guess it's just us.
It's still warm.
Should we relight it? Have our own campfire?
I need to get back. Besides,
Looky here, boys! Caught us some burglars!
Coming into our homes and stealing our shit?
Look at our masks. Can you tell we're bad
I
guys?
say we're owed compensatory damages.
This is rather silly.
I don't get it. How stupid can you be? It's crazy simple. Compensatory damages is like, it's like compensation for damages.
Oh yeah! That's what you get when you...
These masks are not going to block
we
coronavirus.
haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah, we were just passing through.
Oh, a likely story.
Okay, what do you want?
Nothing but our due recompense, that's all.
Do recompense! Do recompense!
Due recompense? No shit for brains, due recompense. It's like, compensatory damages.
Yeah, this comic relief is not really working for me here.
Simple as that.
I think we've heard enough.
It might have worked if I were 12. Do the triple slash. Butch! That was my dad's name.
No way!
Oh, I got stunned.
I'm coming! This one's for you! Don't catch a cold!
And then he did the triple slash after he got unstunned. Okay. Just killed some dudes.
Whatever you do, don't move.
Don't look! Don't look!
I'm dead. I'm super dead.
I mean, this sword would have just like cleaved them in twain. You know, that's one thing I like about Berserk is like you see him just like chopping people in half. There's just something satisfying about like chopping a horse head off or something like that. Where I came from, this is the direction I came from. That's silly music there.
Shit! Let's get the hell out of here! Wait, you guys! Don't leave me! I'm coming!
What are they doing now? Do I have to go back and check on them? Don't leave me, guys. I'm coming. I'll go check on them. Are they gone? Maybe there's like something else here. There's a box I didn't destroy. This game is primarily about smashing boxes, you see. And then I made that joke on a bunch of streams, and then they literally have a minigame where you smash boxes. You see how many boxes you can smash in as little time as possible. Here we go.
Random question, but why did you quit being a soldier?
That is random.
You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Did you have any soldier friends? Any war buddies?
No. Not really.
Oh, okay.
Alright, here we go. Whoa!
What we got here? Fresh meat that just turned to that's what.
Bandit A. Alright, Bandit A.
Get him!
Calling lightning.
Should I hit the left arm or... I'll hit the arm, why not?
Go on! So it's my turn?
Ooh, ouch.
You'll see. That'll do! You jittery? One more shot! How shocking! And catch! You've got this!
Taking over. Sorry.
You jittery?
There we go. Ooh, some
Moving on then.
nice flames. Flames. The map just ends here. See, they always like, I don't know, kind of fake me out. It's like, do I come back here at some point? Should I explore more? All right, yeah, here's another crane. This is crane number 3, I think.
Stupid ladders, always out of reach. Okay, Cloud, heading down. You're in charge of the arm. Got it?
Okay. All right, yeah, so I can change over. Pick this up. Where am I putting it? I guess they drew a big yellow box where I have to put it. Let's see what I do here. Offer her a ride. You know what's a JRPG more people should play is actually Golden Sun. It's a Game Boy Advance game. I don't know if I did this puzzle right. Can I get her like all the way over here? Well, I probably could, but I have to pick up the box. Okay. So... at least she's doing what I say. I mean, that's a good sign. That's a good wife trait. Just do whatever I say all the time. There it goes. Like, these controls are slightly reversed, which is a little bit... I don't know. There we go. And drop her off there. So I think what I have to do is get this box, because I want to get that materia, right? It's like a dumb little mini game. Grab the container, pick it up. Yeah, so yeah, more people should play Golden Sun games. Those were really good. That's one like JRPG franchise that I would like to see brought back. It had great music. It had like a really cool story, good combat system. I love the fact that you could make different Jin, you know, like or different classes by combining different Jin together. It was a really cool concept. Definitely. Okay, well, how do I get her to do what I want her to do? Probably have to pick up this box again, huh? Alright, this is gonna take forever. If you like tactics, you might want to try War of the Visions. I have it. I did a video on it. Problem with War of the Visions is that it's a mobile game and is built around gacha systems. So basically, the game is not balanced for difficulty at all. It's the same thing with Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Its difficulty is like pathetically easy, or you know, you're focusing on things that are hard, right? Compare that to, say, the actual Final Fantasy Tactics game. Because it's not a mobile game, it's not based around like trying to summon units. I still have War of the Visions on my phone. I've never deleted it, but I haven't played it in months. It's the monetization system that will stop a game like that from ever being good. That's just how it is. It's the same thing with Brave Exvius. It's just the same model. I mean, Fire Emblem Heroes is probably the closest... Or not Hero. Is it Heroes? Yeah, Heroes. Probably the closest thing to a gacha system that I'm willing to play, because I can literally play the game for free and clear all the content without any problems. And get to, like, pretty high arena levels without having to do any kind of... anything that's hard. Like, I don't have to pay him money. Okay, you get off. Alright, let's see if we can raise it all the way up. Try this again. But yeah, that's the long and short. And anytime you have a gacha system, you're basically destroying the balance of the game. You're balancing the game around... There's no balance. Try stacking the containers. Okay, well, I thought I could maybe get her onto the container. I put her on that container and she could get the materia, and then... Yeah, then I could stack containers. Anyway, we'll try it. The game's been feeling generous to you. It's fine. I mean, it's not a badly designed game. It has great aesthetics. I like a lot of things about it. But I'm very aware of how certain game mechanics work, and gacha mechanics, they always work like that. It's the same thing with Hearthstone. Like, you can play Hearthstone for free. There's a lot of stuff you can do for free in it that's pretty fun. You could even do a lot of the PvE stuff for free, but, you know, as soon as you start getting into that ladder,
Gotcha.
You're not going to get anywhere unless you're willing to at least buy in with a lot of money. And Hearthstone's considered like this balanced esport kind of game. And it's like, you have to, it's not a pay to win, it's pay to even have the possibility of winning. You have to have the cards. And the way that they kind of gate the quests, for instance, you're just not really gonna get anywhere unless you're willing to spend a little bit of money. And even when I was playing Hearthstone back in beta, like I was spending money on it, not a ton of money, but I knew people that spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on Hearthstone. And that's like, dude, if you spent $300 on this game, like how many other games could you have bought? You know, you probably could have bought a bunch of other games. Like, wow. Could have bought a ton of games. Alright, see, that one's not going to go low enough. See, I'm doing everything out of order. I'm like, I can't just drop that one because it's not low enough. Alright. Gotcha, game. Go pick up this box. If I'm not smashing boxes, I'm picking them up and moving them. You know, the really crappy thing is when those mobile, you know, freemium, free-to-play kind of games, when those mechanics get into regular games, can really harm the game design. I think a great example would be like the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game. Maybe it was it Battlefront or Battlefront 2? Maybe both of them. They put in loot boxes that you could just buy, and that's gonna destroy the mechanics of the game. If you have a game that it's a single buy-in, like you buy the game and you get all the content, you're going to design things a lot differently than if you have extra content people can pay for. You know, you design the, like, let's say you have DLC that's like a cool weapon. Well, you're going to design your difficulty around that cool weapon. So, like, the hardest difficulty might require you to, might take into account that you bought the DLC and have the better DLC weapons. I remember that was a thing with Dragon Age Origins. Is like, when the game came out, Nightmare difficulty was legitimately challenging. But if you bought the version with all the DLC, Nightmare mode was not very challenging. And it wasn't very challenging because you could just do the DLC, and even if you had the DLC installed, they just send you items. And you know, you had basically the top tier weapons from the DLC, from doing like the dumb, and the DLC was really bad with Dragon Age Origins. Let me also point that out. It was not good. It was all way overpriced and, like, you know, 20-minute experiences of nothing. I'll have you know I'm a creative writing minor and I quote you regularly. You unfortunately write on the note too. College doesn't teach you how to write. Well, yeah, it's especially literature degrees. I know you're creative writing, but I don't really think, you know, in my experience, they don't teach creative writing all that differently from literature. It's more like, well, you're going to do the things that we talk about in literature class now, rather than, like, how to actually construct a story. I had to learn all that after the fact. You know, I didn't learn that from any of my, even all the way through graduate school. Like, my graduate level writing courses, even in nonfiction, didn't teach you how to write. You know, didn't even teach you. It's like we had a research writing class, which is basically like how to write, you know, articles for publication. It didn't even teach you how to write those. It didn't teach you the style, taught basically nothing. It was it was like, oh, well, here's the format, you know. We really didn't do any more than that. It was really sad, unfortunately. So that just tends to be what happens. It's not that there's like no creative writing competency at all at the university level. It's just, it's probably in the minority rather than the majority.
That went pretty well.
Sure did.
But I appreciate you quoting me.
Huh? Wait a minute. Did you just...
Nope.
Don't worry, we'll be on
Yeah,
the same
Grand Blue
page next
Fantasy
What are you talking
is set up
time.
a.
I'm sorry, okay?
I'll probably do some stuff on that one because it's actually set up pretty fairly. Fire Emblem Heroes is set up in a very fair manner. If I were to spend money to get all the heroes I have, like the 5-star, sometimes like plus 10 heroes, it's like you'd have to spend a ton of money. And I'm serious when I say like I only play the game, you know, on the potty, or like when I'm holding the baby, she likes to watch that game and then go to sleep. I don't know, makes her go to sleep. She goes, guys, play the guys, right? And so pulls out the guys and watches them fight and goes to sleep. I know that sounds really, maybe I'm a bad parent for that, I don't know, but whatever, makes the baby go to sleep. Let's see, what was I missing here? But I don't really feel that way about, like, I mean, I actually don't think
Hold it right there.
Brave Exvius is unfair either,
You wanna
really.
pass through our territory, then you gotta pay the toll.
So I actually don't think it's unfair at all. The problem is the difficulty is not balanced around a consistent, like, enclosed set of content. The way it would be with a regular full-featured game.
So long. Feeling chilly? Buckle up. We made it.
It's
Smell
done
the
for
fresh
real.
air?
Fresh air, yeah. When I think of fresh air, this is like exactly what I'm thinking of. Is like that green haze filtering down through Midgar. This looks like fresh air to me. And I don't like this track very much. This reminds me of like Vegas club music, not in a good way. I gotta read this. Hold on. I live in Morocco right now, so I have high quality access to gin. That's awesome. Yeah, in Golden Sun, you collected these little Pokemon basically, and they called them gin.
Aw,
Yes.
Don't leave me hanging.
I want to high five you. Yes. Yes. I have to hold high five. Okay, do it, Cloud. High five her. That's all she wants, dude. She wants that high five, and then she's gonna take you to bed. Man, he is so not into this girl. I mean, he needs to be. I think he's into her, and he doesn't wanna let her inside. He's got the bad boy role going on. Oh, the playground.
All right, there it is.
The playground. Is this the playground?
Looks shut. How do we open it?
More importantly, how about we take a break? Sound good?
No. I don't have time
Up
for...
there looks nice. Come on.
I'm gonna read this one after I've watched this cutscene.
You know, a long time ago, I used to sell flowers here.
Oh, yeah?
So, Cloud, you were a soldier first class, right?
Yeah.
Weird.
Really? What's weird about it?
Nothing. Just that you were the same rank.
Huh? As who?
The first guy I ever loved.
What's his name? I probably know him.
Oh, this is cool.
Are you okay? Wow. Your eyes.
Oh. It's 'cause of the Mako. All soldiers have them.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I'm bumming you out. We should go. Gotta look forward, not back.
All right. There's like some great threads here about like literary fiction. So litfic has its own tropes that no like college people want to admit that it has. They're like, no, it's the absence of tropes. No, if I were to classify literary fiction, be like, oh, it's set in our world and it's primarily about social issues. And I remember having this workshop with Steve Yarborough, who you've probably never heard of because no one's ever heard of any lit fiction authors. And he wrote this book called Oxygen Man that takes place in 2 time settings at once. Right? Like in the past and in the present at the same time. And I mentioned to him how I'm like, oh, this is just exactly what Stephen King did in It, but in way less pages. And he got extremely offended. He goes, no, this is an original approach. I'm like, it's not original, dude. There's operas that do this
Won't take long.
that are from like the 1600s. You know, this is not an original approach to writing at all. The fact that you think it's original kind of says a lot about you.
Ready?
It's like you weren't even aware that a multinational
Wanna get to
best-selling
Sector 7
book
in style?
did
This is
exactly
the
what
best
you
one
did
for
in
you.
terms of its construction. To the point where like everyone in the class who read it was like, oh yeah, it's totally just the same. Only it's about racism, not monsters. It's like he only writes books about racism. He's a white guy who talks like Bill Clinton and writes books about racism. And he writes one book every like 6 years.
You gonna
So-
be okay getting home?
And
And if I
he's
said I
probably
wasn't,
sold some fraction of the books I've sold in like
thought
a year,
needed to
you
get
know?
back.
So it just kind of puts things in perspective where it's like, yeah,
worry.
I got published by this small press
I have a
and my
backup
book was
route
in a
for
bookstore once.
emergencies, and it's safer too.
And I'm a professor. It's like, great. I'm glad you're happy. She left the party. No! Don't
Guess
leave the
this is
party.
it then. Ready?
No.
Aw, you big softy. Gonna miss me?
All right. Should I look around here for any more stuff? Actually, I need to. It's 1 o'clock. I need to go to bed, guys, because that baby's gonna wake up and she's gonna be like, I do like how I could do this little thing, like go in here, go down the slide, the kiddie slide. Like, there's something so dystopian about this like wrecked playground with the walls and like the lamps. I don't know. It's an uncanny aesthetic right here. You know, I would call this uncanny. Like, and the moths around the 19th century looking lampposts, but then like the tires to run over. It's just weird. I should go down this little hole and see what's down at the end of it. Yep, treasure. Gotta always look for treasure. Treasure everywhere. Treasure, treasure. Let's find it. Alright. I think I'm gonna save here. And we'll probably call it a night. Witcher should have been half-hour show with the monsters and tits, and that's all 10 out of 10. Turn it into an hour-long drama, and I'm out. I didn't watch Witcher just because I thought the chicks were ugly. I don't turn on TV to watch like 4s and 5s and top, like, oh, the hottest girl's like a 6. You know, it's like, that's not. I don't need to escape into that. I go look around outside, I see 5s all day long. I don't need to see it on the TV. I want to see someone glamorous and beautiful. Sorry. I mean, like, I know that that's completely... Someone's going to object to that. Well, why should there only be beautiful people? It's like, because it's art, man. You know? I get that you know, Hieronymus Bosch and I think it was Hieronymus. No, Jacob Jordanes used to paint these really grotesque-looking people, and it's kind of cool. There was a genre for grotesque-looking people in like the Dutch schools, you know, back in the 17th century. But he also painted like perfect pictures of Christ, like dying on the cross. So he could do more than paint grotesque people. But you know, especially with the Witcher games, it's like hot chicks and badass monsters, and you know, that's what you want from the show. And same thing with the stories, man. The stories are dark fairy tales. It's not about ugly girls. You know, what do they teach you in creative writing that you can't pick up from reading books? I'm not sure. I found a creative writing teacher who, upon looking up his name, turns out to have written several children's books about Karl Marx and Che Guevara for a middle grade audience, promoting them. Great. Awful. Yeah, they really undersell Tifa, and they overplay Aerith. Said they didn't want to play favorites, but definitely did. Now Tifa's going to show up, and he's going to be a bitch again. I mean, he should be... I think I like Tifa better, but, you know, whatever. Aerith, actually, Aerith's very awkward, but she looks like my wife, so maybe I like her better. My wife might hear this at some point. Like, no, you like the one that looks like me. It's like, yeah. But she really does. You guys think I'm like bullshitting. If you saw my wife, you'd be like, she almost, like, my wife has such like a gracile jaw, she almost looks like an anime character. Like blue eyes. I love my wife. She's hot. Yeah, literary fiction, which is an arbitrary and intangible distinction. Genre work is for peasants. Yeah, it's genre work is for people who like to sell books, or I just write what I want. I've written stuff that doesn't fit into genres very well, and I'm going to come out with a story maybe in the next couple of days, another free one that doesn't fit in a genre. It would be like a creative writing, it would probably fit in like a creative writing class, but you know, it's only going to make sense to people who are gamers, because it's about it's basically about like a gamer in his 30s, you know, kind of looking at his life and realizing that nothing really changes just because there's new games and new stuff to do. Like his external life hasn't really changed. So, yeah, creative writing courses. I mean, you do what you want. You can quote me as much as you want. By the way, I'm just some guy. They're like, that's just some guy. That's just some guy who wrote like some fantasy books and horror books and sci-fi books and books on how to write. Oh, okay, he's written a lot of books. I haven't even written that many, you know. If your story isn't approved by the white women of the FIC, then it's genre, David. Stop fighting the tide and accept you're a Philistine. My best thing is, like, if you meet somebody who's really into, say, Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. Infinite Jest, the big jest of Infinite Jest, the big joke, is that the book is awful. And I think that David Foster Wallace actually wanted to do this. The book has no ending, no resolution. It just ends. Like, there's no ending to it. It's a bunch of kind of inside jokes, and then it just ends after 1,000 pages. There's no story to it. It's and I think it's a big joke. The big joke was, I got you to read this whole book and I didn't give you any kind of conclusion to a story. And someone's gonna be like, oh, that's so masterful, and I think it's just a troll job. So, you know, I don't read a lot of that stuff now. Yeah, I think art has to be a dramatization. Either do beauty or repulsion. I think that's a great philosophy. I think that's a great philosophy, because you want it to be, you want it to represent the idea, not be a representation of reality. Reality is kind of boring. Like, think about how boring your day is. Most of it's just filtered out, and you don't even remember it. Wake up, you maybe eat some breakfast, brush your teeth, like go to school, stop paying attention during class and daydream, you know, do some homework, like go home, play a game for a while, and then like you talk to a girl and it's like, oh, I remember talking to the girl, and like that's what you remember from that. It's like I can't remember all the individual days of class, you know, but I remember like hanging out with this girl at this bar, and she was like super into me, and then, you know, I like got distracted because my friend was throwing up and I never got her number, and I was like, what if, you know? You remember little stories like that. That's the stuff that gets filtered down through time. You know, I don't remember what I ate that day for breakfast. Like, most of it's noise. So when you're trying to reflect reality too clearly, it either becomes boring or it becomes like an even more unrealistic portrayal. I remember this awful movie called, I think it was called The Squid and the Whale, and it's just dysfunctional people being awful to each other, and then it ends. And there's 2 hours of it. It's intolerable. And like I remember I had a friend at the time. She's like, "Oh, I like this because I think it's really real." And my whole thing was like, I don't think it's real at all, because real people would not tolerate other people acting like this. And even if it was real, why do I have to sit through 2 hours of that? Like, what is the point of me having to endure that? It doesn't say or do anything except that, like, you know, it's okay to waste my time watching bad movies. It's not. I don't want to waste my time watching bad movies. So anyway, guys, I think I'm going to call it here tonight and go to sleep. They never got rid of the slaves. They just hid them from sight. Tolkien. All right, guys, I do appreciate it, and I'll... Yeah, a lot of them see it, quote, as the fast food of writing. They said that about, like, the Da Vinci Code. They're like, oh, it's just like literary fast food. And I'm like, it is. Sometimes you just want to eat something that tastes good and you know what you're getting. So if you think that you have the magic formula to do that, why aren't you doing that? They're always going to they're always going to pretend like they understand the genres, but they really don't. Otherwise, they'd be making money, you know, or they'd be doing it, you know. It's that simple. It's like it's all writing books for other people who actually don't read them. It's the same thing with journal articles, to be honest. You know, no one reads most of the academic journals. There's very few readers. So getting an article published in an academic journal means some other people may or may not have read it to put it in there. A lot of times the peer reviewers don't even read the articles. They just put them in there because they need to put them in there. It's like a racket for people to get tenure. And then it got put on a shelf, and like 2 people read it because they needed to cite something for a paper in a different class. It's all a big bunch of BS, in my opinion. And keep in mind, I used to teach at the college level, at the university level. This is old stuff for me. You just get very disillusioned with it once you know how it works. I don't know, and I feel like it's just a big business to extract a bunch of money from young people who are told that they have to do it to have any kind of clout or anything. I don't know. Anyway, I do appreciate it, guys. Thank you for buying the book. Hopefully it's useful to you. And I'll see you guys next year. Or I mean, not next year, probably tomorrow. Take it easy. I will hold on. I will there we go. I will have an announcement for streams for the weekend. So I'll probably do one on tomorrow on Friday, and I'll do one on Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock for sure. So that one's for sure, and the other one, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out with my wife. So anyway, thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.